this way. I'm not going to be dramatic or over the top. I'm 100% truthful and honest when I say that this might be possibly the last time I ever see Union Pacific's Big Boy 4014 operating in person. I'm fortunate enough to have one more opportunity, and I'm taking full advantage of it. If you want to see it again as well, you know what to do. Just come along with me. Now my plan was to film it in just one location today, July 1st, as it's heading south down the Sunbury line. But some new details were revealed by Reading and Northern once again with a press release, and those plans are going to be altered a little bit. We're still going to catch it coming down the Sunbury line in a rather remote location. There's about 2 or 3 or 4 other individuals down here, but it's not crowded at all. Shouldn't be at all because it's not the easiest place to get to. After we catch it here though, both myself and RJ, who is down there setting up as well, we are going to head to the Pittston yard one more time, because 2102 and 4014 will be reuniting temporarily just for a little bit of time today. And then 4014 and 2102 are departing, heading towards Jim Thorpe and Nesquehoning. So we're going to catch them at a different location that we've ever seen them before as they head out of this area for the final time, at least the Big Boy. Once this video is completed though, I will be sharing some thoughts from this overall experience, because it's something that, as I said before, I never thought I'd be able to witness in person. But now I'm on my 4th day of catching the Big Boy in action. So should be a great day, a hot one, but history in the making once again. In case you're wondering about him, can't even see him. There's someone attempting to make their way down through the brush there. That's what's making all the noise. It's like the predator. Not a bear.
And he made it.
It's Sasquatch.
In the gauge. Got it slightly at an angle that way. Nothing in the way now.
Well, heading to the Pittston yard is not nearly as chaotic as it was the first time Big Boy came here. But I believe both 2102 and Big Boy should be up here. And they'll be there in just a moment. Yep. People are out, and there's a back of one train there. So just like the first weekend, no bystanders along the guardrail, no trespassing in the yard without a ticket. But we can certainly ride by like this. Boy, there's a lot of people. Nesquehoning trip came here, so a lot of passengers are here to witness the reuniting one more time. I'm telling you, bike is the way to do it. Don't have to worry about parking, traffic, nothing. And did I mention, it's a hot one today. Projected high is 95 degrees. Real feel is about 105. It's extremely humid out. That means the crew in both 2102 and the Big Boy, I feel for them. It is going to be so freaking hot under these conditions, but they're here to do their job, put on a show, and give passengers their money's worth. So from what I heard with chatter amongst locals here and regulars and bystanders is that Big Boy is not here yet. Whether it's late intentionally or unintentionally, that I don't know. They are supposed to be meeting here. Reading Northern did put out a tentative schedule, but always that's subject to change, so only thing we do is just wait. All right, looks like we got Union Pacific 4014 arriving late, backing into the yard. Like the old saying goes, better late than never. Guy brought his own ladder on the e-bike.
Prepare for it.
Abraham Lincoln, that got brought up on the Sunbury line just a few days ago. They brought it to Steamtown to hook up so a Big Boy could take it down to Philly for July 4th. It's like a migration of the rail fans and passengers. They're all moving over. That's the diesel power. Hooked up to 2102 for braking. Turning the train around on the Y. Final time that we know of, it's going to be in Northeast Pennsylvania here. Heading to Jim Thorpe tonight. After that, down to Philly, and then heading back west. Still gives me goosebumps. Even though it's my 4th day seeing the Big Boy. Oh, look who's in the cab. The man himself, the owner of the Reading Northern Railroad, Andy Moeller. RJ said he's the one that just pulled the whistle. Talking with engineer Ed Dickens of 4014. That's got to be quite the thrill. And to know that you are able to have a big boy on your railroad and your infrastructure that they can hold it, that says something. They're doing something right. We're hoping to get some more close-up action, but based on the late arrival of Big Boy, we don't know when they're departing. We don't want to miss our final location, which is going to be a crossing that we haven't been to on any of the days that we filmed. And it also involves a former train station. Some of you may know where it is, some of you may not, but we're headed there now to get one final shot of Big Boy 4014 departing the area.
What's that?
We are now in the town of DuPont, and we're approaching our location, but skies are not looking favorable. They're looking kind of dark and stormy, so hoping they hold off or at least go another direction. But the location we're going to, we're anticipating a pretty large crowd because this business has been advertising it on Facebook leading up to it both times it came by here, and it's a perfect place to cool off on a hot day like this. So we're almost there. We'll see what it's like. I don't know if I'll be able to get some low to the ground footage, but at the very least I did bring my X5 to basically stick it up in the air 10 feet and hope for the best. So here we are at Main Street, DuPont, the home of Choo Choo's Ice Cream, which is a former train station. So it doesn't look terrible, but I mean, there are a decent number of people here. So we're gonna kind of assess the situation, find out where we want to set up camp, and hopefully get a pretty good shot. So RJ decided to go over there in the shade. Don't blame him. It's a scorcher today. Clouds are looking ominous, not liking that. But we are on the other side, kind of diagonal from the train station, Choo Choo's Ice Cream. Train's coming from that direction. I'm gonna have you guys handheld, which may or may not be a worthwhile shot because of usually people that arrive last second. But I have this. This is my wireless remote for my X5 way up there. I have it mounted to my bike so it's not gonna tip over. I don't even have to physically touch the camera to start recording, so that's definitely gonna get a pretty good shot, both on the approach and going that direction. So fingers crossed, the storm clouds bypass us and or the train arrives before they come. But let me just tell you, sweating like crazy today. I think we got police on site, more people arriving, but this is actually a really mild crowd compared to when Big Boy came through the first time when I filmed it. This location had hundreds and hundreds of people. So I'm surprised it's not more crowded, but it also is a Wednesday. It's coming. It's gonna be on our inside track here. I don't see 2102, so I don't think they're racing. Steamtown is literally shaking. There's Abe Lincoln. So still down there, still overcast, shade feels good. We're still waiting though, hopefully for 2102. There's a few of us stragglers waiting for it. Others have departed, went to Oak Street and or points south like Mountaintop, Jim Thorpe, stuff like that. But with the T1 stop there, we were feeling confident that it's waiting for 2102 and they're probably gonna roll through Oak Street together and then arrive at Mountaintop together, and then probably go singles from there. That's what our best guess is anyways. Bonanza. Got a tablet. That's the car to be in. They got the air conditioners going. The open air car is like a railfan bonanza. There were so many people stuffed in that one car with the cameras out. Getting chills again, and it's emotional. Very well could be the final time I ever see it operating in person. And it came right through Northeast Pennsylvania. If you're watching this, that means the train's never backed up. So I actually did an outro at Choo Choo's, but I realized I left out a few things, so I wanted to get cleaned up, get more composed, cool off a little bit, and do another outro. But I am sweating profusely. I do apologize for my appearance. Nothing I could do about it. Heat index right now is around 107. Humidity's off the charts. I'm sweating just sitting here doing nothing, talking to you guys, even in the shade. Before I talk about thoughts on this being the final time of seeing Big Boy in operation, I do want to just mention a couple other quick things. More so about giving thanks to those who were involved with this project. So even before that, thanks to RJ for coming up today and sticking out these brutal conditions with me. When I told him, it's going to be going out of Steamtown July 1st, and I have an area we could go to via e-bike, he's like, okay, I'll come. Any excuse to do a bike ride together. But then we learned that it was going to be stopping at Pittston once again, and then departing with 2102. So we ended up doing more than I actually planned on doing today because things worked in our favor. We wanted to make the most of the opportunity. For starters, Union Pacific, all I can say is job well done for doing what you have done of making history come alive. The fact that they put in the time, effort, and money to restore a Big Boy locomotive to operating condition, that's something I never thought would ever happen. And once it did, and it was operating on the West Coast, my plans were to go out there and see it, whether it be this year or next year, because that's something that I wanted to see in person, more than just video. But once they announced it was coming coast to coast, especially here in Pennsylvania to our backyard, I couldn't be more ecstatic that this opportunity was going to be presented to us. Next up is Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern not only had their, looks like a heritage unit on their consist, but Norfolk Southern allowed trackage rights to run on the Sunbury line from Binghamton down to Reading and Northern property. So thanks to Reading and Northern for allowing that to happen. Speaking of Reading and Northern, you guys really home run with this event. Not only did you guys prove that your rail infrastructure can handle a 1.2 million pound locomotive, but you did a freaking train race with a T1 and a Big Boy not once, but twice. It was not on my bingo card, as I said. Really caught us by surprise. And that moment when it happened, when I was there in person filming it, even watching back the footage, it still gives me goosebumps and chills of that event taking place right in our very backyard of Northeast Pennsylvania, and being there for that historic monumental occasion. So Reading and Northern, all I could say is I'd love to see more events like that in the future, whether you buy yourselves a Big Boy or another T1 and do a double header. But Andy Mueller really knows his business, knows how to put on a show, and as far as I could tell, everything went accordingly as it was supposed to. Lastly, Steamtown. Steamtown hosted Big Boy 4014 for 2 weeks, parked by its sibling 4012. And yeah, I'll be honest, the first day I was there, when they had sold 30,000 tickets, I was up on the rooftop. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. It's chaotic, crazy, not worth it. To some others it was, though. And there was not a knock on anyone waiting in line for that, not a knock on Steamtown. I'm just not a real people person when it comes to large crowds. It's just not for me. But beyond the first day being kind of crazy and hectic, from what I've heard amongst people who have been there, and even seen videos of my friend Jamie Macon and Wally B, who actually got tickets to go to Steamtown, each day got better. The crowds were less and less, and the staff was handling things like a well-oiled machine. So the park rangers and all Steam Park staff, including like locomotive engineers, conductors, maintenance and crewmen, they all played a part in making it a huge success. I don't know if they had record numbers there. Had to be pretty close, but it definitely put Steamtown back in the spotlight for a moment of time, as did just Pennsylvania itself with this locomotive. As I said in my last video, the fact that people take time out of their day to stop and witness this in person is an awesome thing to see and to be a part of, because not only is it history, it's something that many of us probably won't ever experience again. And to some, it's just a locomotive, which it is, but it's allowing us to focus on something positive for a period of time out of our particular day, because the world is a crazy, hectic place. Not all of it's good, but when it comes to trains, specifically steam locomotives, and one of the world's largest operating ones in the world, well, that definitely stops people in their tracks, causes them to call in for a sick day, even to do some traveling to witness this history in the making. Even off camera, I was talking to a woman next to me near a Choo Choo ice cream shop. She came up from DC. Others have traveled far and wide to come to Steamtown, or just to come see it, do the race. Last time it came through there, the first time I should say. So it's drawing a lot of people together for one specific thing. Doesn't matter your race, your age, your religion, none of that matters. All that matters is we're all there to witness something awesome and incredible in our very own backyard. And the fact that I was able to ride my bike to these locations or even do a short drive, I can't be more thankful and fortunate for what I have encountered and experienced. Lastly, getting back to how I started this video, is that I didn't want to be dramatic or over the top, and I don't want to be now. But I was being 100% truthful that today is probably the last time I'll ever see Big Boy 4014 operating in person. And that's because the future is unknown. Even when it went through the crossing there by Choo Choo's, in the back of my mind, I was thinking to myself, this is it. This is the final time, most likely. We don't know what's going to happen with 4014. Will it ever do another coast-to-coast tour? I'm not going to say it won't ever, but if it does, it probably won't be in my lifetime. And if it doesn't, it may just operate closer to its headquarters, which I could maybe make a trip out for that in the future. It could also go into a museum, you know, and that's the case. We won't see it operational again. But I think it's more likely than not that I'm not going to see it operating in person again, at least here in Pennsylvania. I don't think the odds are in our favor for it to be back here, because for it to do a coast-to-coast tour in the 250th anniversary, well, I won't be around for the next 250th anniversary, which will be 500 years. So the fact that I was able to capture it not once, but 4 separate days, and between those 4 days, I got to see a total of 10 times. I didn't think that was going to happen, but like I said, the stars aligned, and the plans that I set in motion worked out flawlessly, and that I was able to experience it with some great people, and to be able to share it with you, those of you who can't make it out to see it in person, whether it's for distance or health reasons or any other reason. I did my best to show you what it's like to be at these locations, to hear, you know, my enthusiasm, to see the crowds, and to make you feel like you're a part of it here in person. So hopefully I did my job in doing that. And I think I did, based on the feedback and comments in my first 4014 video. Those of you who did watch it and comment and leave such positive feedback, thank you so very much for doing so. Greatly means a lot. Makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, especially for those who can't get out and do it. And those who did see me in person, not only during my first encounter at Big Boy 2 weeks ago, but also today. There was at least 3 or 4, maybe even 5 people that did say hello or wave to me. It happened to be off camera, but they took the time just to, hey, it's JP, how's it going? To just say hello, have a couple quick few words, even just a wave. Thank you so very much for doing so. It's always nice to see and to meet people who do watch my videos, especially if you do leave comments. I could put a face with that name. And even if you don't comment, the fact that you watch and do recognize me, it does mean a lot. You know, I do my best to kind of keep things entertaining and worthwhile watching, and that's why I do offer entertainment, from adventures and exploring to even trains and now the Big Boy. Without rambling anymore, thank you so very much for coming along and join me one final time as we witnessed history in the making, history in motion, a once-in-a-lifetime experience of seeing Union Pacific's Big Boy 4014 operating in our very own backyard here in Northeast Pennsylvania, and to be able to document it as many times as I did. Take care, everyone, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.